All right, so upcoming mixtapes. First off, we got Chief Keef. Now, I only did this shit because a lot of people kept always commenting like, "Bro, you did the wrong review. The review for Chief Keef Bang 3 wasn't real." I think I put that in the video that it's not an official mixtape, but I still wanted to review it. So yeah, that's to that. But anyway, this joint dropped on Christmas and it's gonna be produced by Sunny Digital. Am I excited for it? Not really, because it's like Back from the Dead is more of a Halloween thing. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of could have dropped it around that time, maybe. I guess I don't know, but during Christmas, do I really want to hear it? Of course, I'm gonna listen to it, but I mean, we all gotta admit this will be the third installment of Back from the Dead. Nobody really liked the Back from the Dead 2. Back from the Dead 1 is a classic. We already understand that. So let's try to go into this open mindedly because it's going to be really no production from like a Young Chop or, you know, 12 million or, anybody like that. Just totally Sunny Digital. And we all know the magic that he can make. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what Chief Keef going to rap like on those type of beats because they ain't really drill beats. They're more of trap beats, unless Sony Digital is creative enough to try to, I guess, duplicate um, some drill beats. But I mean, drill music is cool. It is what it is. But I definitely feel like with all the recent projects he's dropped, it shows he got enough talent to actually go ahead and be versatile and try something different. So yeah, I'll definitely be checking this out on Christmas, you know. But that's just what I think about it. What's your expectations for the upcoming project for Chief Keef? He's been kind of quiet lately, going through a lot in his personal life and shit that I don't need to really get into because that's personal and it's not about the music. So basically, I want to wait for the music. And I know I should have talked about Nobody too, but honestly, listening to it, it's not really nothing that special. We all know the song's not new, so you don't really need my thoughts on it. I skimmed through it. I've listened to it fully once, and then again I skimmed through it. It's got some joints on there, you know what I mean? But it's just too many goddamn songs. He should have kept it at 12, and I still think the original Nobody, the first Nobody was a lot better than this one. But you never know. I may go ahead and give it another couple spins and review it, but I definitely want to see what he's gonna do with this. Cause Back from the Dead 2 was cool, but it just was like, damn, bro, like what I mean, it ain't that, you know. Hopefully he can do what he did with the last joint he just put out. What is it? Finally Rich or some shit. Not Finally Rich, but Finally Rolling 2 or some shit. I forget the title right now, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Hopefully he can top what he did on that, cause I thought that was pretty dope, and it didn't have as much auto tune and bullshit music on it. So I'm kind of excited to see this, see what he's going to do with this end of the year. And, Fab got a project dropping that day too. So this can be pretty interesting. I don't see why Wayne didn't drop Dedication 6 on this day, but that's another story. But before Chief Keef comes up, we have another Chicago native that's dropping a project in a couple of days. So let's talk about that joint. Now, Lil Durk is dropping his mixtape on Tuesday, 300 Days, 300 Nights. And I think this is interesting, seeing how this was been supposed to drop, a while ago. And then the other mixtape that got scrapped for whatever reason when his label didn't want him to put out the music. I forget what it was. I cannot think of that. So if y'all know what it is, let me know. But I definitely want to see what he gonna do with this joint. You know what I mean? His album kind of, I guess, fizzled away. Nobody really paid it attention. Def Jam. They doing a horrible, horrible job this year for whatever reasons, but that's another case for another vlog. But I just want to see what Lil Durk gonna do. He returned to, the mixtape game that got him started, and I think that's dope. I'm wondering, is it gonna be overly saturated with fucking auto tune, which I'm not excited to hear that. And I think he had enough time between Sign from the Streets 2 to his album to now to actually have some deeper content than drugs, gangs, streets, shootings, and shit like that. The regular old rigmarole that comes with drill music. You know what I mean? I think he should be more of a well developed artist that has a variety of things to talk about. I mean, Jesus, give us something. I don't want to hear this project and it's nothing but just shoot, shoot, bang, bang, kill, kill, kill. And it's like living that lifestyle like that no more. You know what I mean? I get the court shit and everything like that, but I just want to hear something new where it's just like your album wasn't bad. You had joints on there that I feel like, okay, this is stepping out of that drill lane, and that's cool if you can use more songs to where you actually have something to say than being repetitive and yet doing the whole auto tune thing. I don't mind it. It's just that it shouldn't be 80% of your project is auto tune. I get it, the melodies and everything like that, but that shit is kind of watering down the music for me at least because it's just like who wants to sit through a whole project of you harmonizing instead of rapping? So I don't want to hear that. I do want to hear, more on the personal side of, what you feeling and what you going through far as your city, the turmoil you going through with everyday life. How is it being successful from moving from here to there? I think he recently got a mansion in the hills somewhere. Like what it took to get that. How friends switched up and changed on you. What I mean, you lost a close friend, which was Capo. Definitely would love some insight on that losing you know people in his court as well, and just overall just want to see if he can be the artist that I think he can be, seeing how he's more in the forefront than, let's say, a Lil Reese. You know what I mean? But who knows? We have to see what happens, from this point on. But this definitely be something I'll be listening to, on Tuesday, checking it out. So y'all don't gotta ask me, and I know that I do a lot of Chicago reviews. So shout out to all y'all that support those videos or whatever. And I listened to King Louis mixtape. It's not bad. You know what I mean? That fuck Spike Lee joint is crazy. Like that's my joint right there. But these just two upcoming projects that I'm kind of looking forward to, actually checking out. I'm still kind of mad that through everything with what's going on in her personal life, you know what I mean? I still wanted to hear, Drillery Clinton 3, from Katie Got Bands. And I'm still kind of disappointed in that. It is what it is. I would have loved the project from Dreezy, um, Sasha Go Hard, so many other chicks that's in Chicago that I feel have potential. But it seemed like more artists are trying to move away from that drill shit. I didn't really listen to the Montana 300, project. I know a lot of people were saying it's going crazy. I didn't get the same feeling from that, but that's just me. I'm different. So, I mean, out of both these projects between Lil Durk and Chief Keef, which one are you more anticipating? Is you anticipating Chief Keef project, or you really want to see what, what I mean, Lil Durk talking about this time? Do you think Lil Durk possibly will have a sophomore album? That's another thing to think about. He's on Def Jam. They like to do the number game and seeing how they doing shit with their artists. Do you think he will stay signed? You think they'll drop him? You think he should go independent? Let me know. And why is Fredo Santana and them so quiet? Still waiting on that project. Gino Marley, Ball Out. Like, what happened to all these projects supposed to come out? So it's kind of intriguing to see what the movement of, the drill scene really gonna be. And shout out to 600 Breezes because he definitely on his grown man shit, you know what I mean? Signed himself, got a label deal, so shout out to him. But y'all let me know what's up, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Just hope y'all enjoy these videos, and sorry I took so long to get back. Just going through shit. All right, one.